There's a fine line between a harmless twat and a bloody dangerous man. And before you lot start getting all happy in the belly, it ain't got nothing to do with how well you can contort your bloody facial muscles while smoking a damn cigar. Every bloke with a set of balls that calls himself a man should always aim to be the most dangerous man in the room. And you lot might not believe it when I tell you this, but danger and respect are like the numbers 5 and 6. The modern society we live in is full of blokes that will trick you into believing you're a terrible twat for wanting to be a man of danger. But the truth of the issue is that every dude with a set of balls in between his bloody legs is gonna choose to be dangerous over a sappy sack of harmlessness. The sweet part about dangerous men is that they can be detected by others. It's more like an aura. There ain't no need to pick a bottle of rum and smash it on the cold hard ground, waving the bloody thing around like a weapon. Being peaceful is another misconception that a lot of blokes have. There's a bunch of dudes that claim to be peaceful lads, but the thing is, they ain't got no choice about the issue. They're actually pretty harmless and wouldn't hurt a bloody fly. It's only the bloke that's really dangerous and chooses to be peaceful that's actually a peaceful dude. Don't mess up the bloody concepts. In the modern world we live in, being dangerous stretches beyond the corners of physical strength and brute force. And that's why I'm here to talk about the 4 secrets that will make any man dangerous. Let's have it, shall we? 1. Influence. Sadly, this is a trait most lads don't have in today's world, and somehow tend to point accusing fingers in the wrong places. Influence paves the way for a lot of stuff. It allows you to get shit done on time. Explaining this term to the average twat, it simply means getting someone to do what you want them to. The government and the media call the shots on a lot of things you don't even know exist. They can make several people move in a certain way, which highlights the ball-wrecking power these higher-ups have. But we ain't here to talk about them higher-ups. With influence, the media could affect how other blokes out there perceive the average John Doe. This could make the public get a feeling of hatred when they set their sappy eyes on you. Or you could be loved and treated like a bloody celebrity, and it all lies on influence. Now, influence is something that can be taught how to acquire, and there are several ways to get such power, which could include getting affiliated with others that actually have such power and call the shots, which is mostly something a lot of tots do nowadays. But hey, we ain't gathered here for a lesson on influence, so I guess I'd leave that doggo live for treatment another day. 2. Articulate your thoughts. The ability to structure your thoughts properly like a bloody stack of dominoes is something you gotta learn to do. A man that can properly articulate his thoughts and a man that can properly communicate with other blokes and twats is quite frightening to the average person. It's probably what got our boy Tate cancelled and thrown into the bloody slammer for over a month. It wasn't the fact that he could throw hands and knock out most men that got in the ring with him, and it ain't got a thing to do with the bloody title he holds as kickboxing champion. The real reason our man Tate got locked up with his brother for a really long time is cause he pissed off a lot of higher-ups, and they felt threatened by the man's presence. Let's be frank about this. He's got a pretty big mouth, and a lot of fans listening to him, and in today's society, that means a lot of influence. Tate knows how to speak for himself, and if you blokes love him or not, it don't mean shit. The reality is that this man can think well and has a sweet mouth, being able to pull along a lot of lads that claim he's made their lives better. Another dude that falls into this bloody category is Jordan Peterson. Now, if you've seen this man's interviews, you can't help but curl up your lips in happiness whenever the man speaks. In most of his interviews, people always try to trick the man and put words in his bloody mouth. But Peterson, he always had a way to escape such twisted questions thrown at him, which makes the man quite the dangerous fella. A lot of blokes out there just can't get the ticker in their noggin to realize that it's quite lethal to master the art of articulating thoughts. The world has changed, and we ain't living in the past where technology wasn't as prominent as it is now. In the modern world, beta males are considered more ballsy and dangerous than alpha males, just because they got the skill of thought articulation. You lot might have come across YouTube videos where 2 lads argue about a bloody point around a certain issue. In these kind of videos, The mission is to prove your opponent wrong, and it mostly ends up like this. If you lot can't articulate thoughts well, it's gonna be difficult to do something as basic as winning an argument. 3. Invincibility. Now there are quite a few celebrities that I tip my hat for because they follow this rule. The world is mostly reliant on technology, and social media has been a blessing. But at the same time, it has the potential of kicking you in the bloody bollocks if not used right. A lot of blokes out there love to show off their bloody lives on the net. From the little details like Jimmy proposing his love to major details, we all want to be seen and heard. But I personally see no bloody point in posting your life on social media unless you're making money from it or have a private account with your family. There's a saying that talks about giving yourself 6 months to learn about what it is you want, and you'd be literally unstoppable at the end of the time frame. There ain't no advantage to letting everyone know the details about you online, because it ain't safe, and people can exploit what it is they know about you. Hell, they could even sell you bloody information on the black market. Alright, I know I'm reaching a bit too far with the black market thing, but you get the point. Let's have a look at social media, for example. Google, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook use your information to push mouth-watering ads your way, as well as videos that's gonna make you glued on such social media. These platforms know this information because you give them the power to do so. When you ain't a popular lad, making stealthy moves and keeping yourself low and in the shadows ain't gonna be a hard nut to crack. This also gives you the golden chance of catching people by surprise, especially by achieving things most people would not. It's also a tad harder to catch yourself and take a piss all over your bloody plans, cause they ain't gonna see you coming, and by the time you've succeeded, it's gonna be too late for them to do anything. 4. Change people's perception of you. This is something a lot of people do so they don't get used or manipulated by other blokes and snakes out there. It's a cold-bloody world, and you lads gotta learn to make someone believe you ain't got strength left when you're packing the power of a bloody horse. The same goes for appearing to be a weak, harmless tart. It's important you lot use this trait to lure your opponents into a trap and make them take actions they feel they're in control of, but in reality, they're being tossed around like a bloody yo-yo. For example, let's say you get set up by your homie and end up in court before the lawyers, wigs and black cloaks. The best decision to make would be not to pull up looking like a bloody mafia leader. In such a situation, it's gonna be best to appear as a turd without a set of balls and a dime in his name. In a pinch like this, a wise man would appear as soft as possible to tailor how other blokes out there perceive you. The same goes for the world of business. Let's say you lads want to strike a deal with a multi-millionaire. It's best to grab your balls and polish them. Make them hard as steel and act like you got other offers at your fingertips. This is gonna make the person second guess himself, and it's gonna make them more susceptible to striking the deal with you. Body language is a dangerous trait a lot of people gotta learn fast in life, cause sometimes it ain't about a pretty face with prim and proper hair, but sometimes it's about how you carry yourself. Now, why don't you be a pumpkin and slam the subscribe button so you don't let any new videos slip by? Hey, there's more. Why don't you lot check out this video and let's have a jolly old chat there.